Hey, my creative friends. My name is Shannon from shannonstudio.com. And I'm here to talk about a creative life. And this last few weeks of my 365-day goal of a creative life tip every day. The last few weeks, I am talking about my launch of the Creative Heartbeats Club that is is happening, and so I'm talking about that and why I think it's important to join. And I will have that up for you to sign up soon. So we're talking about that. Hey, Trisha. And it's July 21st. Hey, boyfriend, it is July 21st. I have 10 more days of videos. And then that's it, 357 days. I can't. Part of me is like, woohoo, done with the goal, won't have to remember every night. Because there's been a couple times I panicked. It's like, I haven't, it's like I'll take a nap or something, and then I panic that I haven't done my thing and I missed it. And so part of me will be woohoo, it's, I've accomplished it. And part of me will be like, oh, wow, what, this is a habit I've created. So we'll see how that goes. But we still have 10 days, and I am talking about creativity and Creative Heartbeats Club. Today, so last night when we were talking, I saw the boyfriend on here, and then I kept seeing these little thumbs up. You know how you can push the button and give a thumbs up? So I'm like getting all these little thumbs up, and I'm like, wow, that's really different for Alan. So then afterwards, after I get off, Joseph runs downstairs and he goes, did you see all the likes I was doing? And he said, Dad was asleep and I was liking it. So I thought that was hilarious. I knew it was out of character for him, for Alan, totally in character for Joseph. He likes that. So today we went down to the city, had to get the bike ride in. Tuesdays and Thursdays, definitely bike ride days. And usually I go to the city just so it's a longer ride. I think it's like 6.5, 7 miles by the time I do all the stuff there, and then 6.5 miles back. So it's a good, it's a good little workout in pulling Joseph along. Yeah, that extra 60 pounds. So, was doing that today. And one of the things I had on my list was that there is the Swedish fashion designer. And I've seen her work before. Even before I came here to Sweden, I had seen her work, and it's quite unique. And so I'm going to just show you some images. Her name is, this is St. Petersburg, and this is part of her new collection. I love this. Her name, and I'm not going to get it right, but Gudrun Sudien. Gudrun. Sjoden. And I really like this, where you can see the little drawings. I love that sort of thing where you can see the little drawings and then it comes to life. She has several catalogs, and they're just beautifully done. I am just, like, every page is a delight to just look at. It just gives this feeling, and that's what she's trying to do. She's trying to give this feeling of her style, of her look and feel, and it's super colorful. I mean, doesn't she just look tickled? Doesn't that not tickle you too? Just the color. She's very colorful, bold patterns. And mismatching, totally something I would have difficulty doing. But when I look at her stuff, I just think, oh, I see how she does it. But it's totally, wrong way, totally unique in how she approaches design and motifs. It's just, I'm like totally enjoying this. Look at the different motifs. Motifs that she does. And so this is her new collection. So today I went and got a couple of things of hers, and I was like, I couldn't quite bring myself to like do all the patterns. I think I'm gonna maybe I'll go there. But she had some lime green things that I just really, it's hard to find lime green and pretty lime green, not like the fluorescent, but just, just a rich kind of lime green. And she had several things. So I got a lot of lime green things, and that just hit the spot for me. So today I did that. And as I'm thinking about that, and the fact that I knew her style before, and that she's a Swedish fashion designer, it just made me, think of that unique design. Because I am sure there were people that said to her, that's a little bright. That's a little bit, people aren't going to buy that. There's no market for that. I can totally hear that. And I've never read her story, and I probably will look into her story, but I can imagine, because there's really not a huge market for it, but there's enough of a market. And she's been around for a long time, because I've seen her work for years. So it just made me think of the uniqueness that we each have. And in the book Creative Calling, he says, Chase Jarvis says, I have found, because he teaches, first off, he teaches creativity, he talks to people, he does a lot of things in the creative field. He says, I have found that each and every one of us has been granted gifts. Yours are unique and specific. Right, so in his mind, which I totally agree to, I've done videos, some of my first videos were that we each have things in us. We have creative things, and they are unique to us. Hers is very unique. You can see that kind of a unique push that she's doing. I mean, she's just leaned into it so far. No apologies, no backing off, no different direction. She has full on taken it and loved it. So then he continues to say, job one is finding out what they are. So finding out what your gifts are, what unique and specific gifts you have, that's job number one. Some of us have found things that we love and unique and specific. Some of us have not. Our number one job is to find those things. Nobody's going to speak out for you. Nobody's going to find you and find it for you. You have to take the responsibility and take the action to find it yourself. Two, he says, job two is bringing those unique gifts to bear. So bringing them out, bringing them out into the world, finding out what they are. Hey, Cassie. I love my Cassie. I just got your text before I came on. Sorry, I took a nap when I got home, Cass. Didn't call you. So I digress. Have a little conversation with Cassie. So job one is finding out what it is, and then job two is to bring it out, bring it to bear. Hey, Rose, Cassie says, hey, Mom, I'm the favorite. Well, of course, Cassie, but don't tell the others. That's what her dad says all the time. You're my favorite, but don't tell the others. Okay, so our job is, we all have unique and specific gifts, and our job one is finding them. Our job two is bringing them to bear. Get them out there. Somehow, some way, get them out there. At the very least, in your own life. Stop even hiding them from yourself. So he says, how? That's the next, how. So how do you do that? So his suggestion is, pursue your own path wherever it leads. Pursue your own path. Do you think that this gal who is, doing these designs, that people are congratulating her for her little weird designs? I'm trying to. Do you think people are congratulating her and say, yeah, pursue all those colors, pursue how those patterns don't match. You go, girl. I just am thinking, no, not so much. They're probably not telling her, yeah, look at that. That's going to be a great seller. I can't even imagine that. I can't imagine that they're telling her, yeah, one day your weird mismatched patterns are going to have you make a catalog and you're going to be in St. Petersburg shooting these photo shoots, these fashion photo shoots and everything else. So you go, because I can see this happening. I totally doubt that. Most people can't even, support the idea of changing the dinner menu. I just don't see people like surrounding her with this, you can do it. Especially when I hear so many of the other stories of people who are creative and who are taking that unique, specific path that they're not, they usually don't have a lot of people going, yeah, girl, you go. So, the one is pursue your own path wherever it leads. So then next, develop the skills to be successful in that pursuit. So you want to go down this lane, you go down that lane. And you develop the skills that will make you successful down that lane. You can't just like wander down that lane and think something's going to happen. We can wander all we want, but we're not going to do anything if we don't develop skills. If you want a creative life, it's not going to just like happen. You're not just going to wake up and sit in the chair and go, man, my life's going to be creative. You've got to find that specific path and then develop those skills along the way of that path to be able to be successful at it. So then we go to, then he says later in the book, the goal isn't to create a masterpiece. The goal is to make a masterpiece of your life. You're not pursuing this for the masses, though the masses might love it. Though, though you might end up with clothes and catalogs and, I'm just going to show you another picture. I don't know. I'll just look. The goal is not that. The goal is that you can look at your life and just be happy with the pursuit that you've taken. And it made me think, when I thought about this, the masterpiece of our own life, it doesn't have to be a huge masterpiece. When I have been to these galleries, these museums, and these, in Denmark and Paris and Sweden, I am struck by, first off, some of the paintings are huge. They're monumental. They're wall-size, floor-to-ceiling, these amazing things. But what I'm equally surprised at is that some of them are like 8 by 8. There's one of Rembrandt, I think it's here in this it's like this little tiny, and it's in this, this big case, but it's little tiny. The Mona Lisa. I mean, it's not huge. Cassie says, lots of people spend so much time trying to please other people that they aren't doing what they actually want to do. Yay, 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 Cassie. You're right. Yes, people are busy. And I think of Cassandra, she just turned 20, and it's easy for, at this point, to be listening to everybody else and to pursue those things that everybody else is telling her. And it's hard to get off that and find your own path. And some people never do. They do get on that treadmill of what other people have said, and they actually don't. And I have a story about that. In just a second, I'm going to tell you. That kind of goes along with, and trying to please other people. So the Mona Lisa, the Rembrandt, they're all very tiny. Your mark can be small. It doesn't have to, you don't have to get on and do a video every day unless you want to. I mean, it doesn't have to be that sort of thing. It can be small. The mark you make can be small, but dang it, make the mark. That's what I say. I said, dang it, make the mark. That it doesn't have to be huge, but make it. Do yourself and others a favor and make it. So then he goes on, stop avoiding the things you don't want. Stop avoiding the things you don't want. And start chasing the things you do. And this is introspective as well, because it's hard. It's hard. And so then I'll tell you the story that he shares. He goes to conferences, like I said, Chase Jarvis and his book Creative Calling. He goes to conferences and talks and does keynote speaking and stuff like that. And he said afterwards there was a Q&A at one of these things, and there was a woman in her 40s, and she wanted to rekindle creativity in her life. And she said she'd been passionate about it when she was young, and but since leaving college, she hasn't spent any time on design, and she abandoned her dream. And then she said she chose the safe career. And in choosing the safe career, she gave up all forms of creative expression. So he says, I asked her what was keeping her from going for it. She burst into tears. The demands of work, family, and life left her no time and energy, or energy for herself. She felt completely stuck. And I know some of you feel that same exact way. He says, without even realizing, this woman had bought into a huge lie. Internalized the idea that our calling is too risky, too impractical. Doing so would be selfish and deeply unwise. And yes, some of those thoughts have merit, but there are ways. There are certainly ways in order to do what we want to do, but it's not going to happen on accident. It's not going to happen by just pushing it aside. So then he goes on, so we carry this regret with us into each new phase of life. And I have seen that. We carry this regret with us into each new phase of life. And I remember having a conversation, maybe more than once, with more than one of my children, but I know at least once, that asked, what was your favorite time of your life? And I was like, now. It's like, I don't wish to go back. I don't wish to go forward. I have always liked where I am. And I think it's because I am not holding this regret of another time. This other point in time, I was happy with what was happening. And I think, and that I've seen, and it kind of makes me feel badly for people when they hold that regret that they didn't do something that could be easily, maybe not even easily, but could be done. So he goes on to say, okay, so we carry this regret with us into each new phase of life. These faulty beliefs work their way into our bones as dogma, making it harder and harder to undo the damage of each year that goes by. The only antidote for this woman and for you is to stop the madness right now with love and empathy for yourself. Gently summon the courage to make a change. So my answer for her was simple. Begin. Rekindle your creative craft for a few moments every day. Don't worry about the rest right now. Simply sit down and make something. Once you've rekindled your practice, you can decide if you want to take it further. So I picked that story because it relates to us watching. It's that idea that we feel stuck. We feel like there are no answers. We feel trapped, and we don't have to. Yeah, the path might not be easy, but it's certainly easier than living with regret. It's certainly easier feeling this smallness, feeling this shrinking of ourselves. So let's see. Then he goes on to say, usually I try to go from book to book, but this was also good. I just had to stick with it. When we say no to our creative impulses over and over again, they harden, like the bottle of glue with the cap left off. You know exactly what that looks like. I have spent time like pulling, because I had 8 kids, and glue. I would buy glue, not just one, but several. But you know what it's like. And sometimes you're getting that paper clip and you're digging it out. So our creativity, saying no to creative impulses over and over again, hardens it like a bottle of glue with the cap left off. And then the last thought, the creativity within you is indestructible. Your uniqueness, your specific gifts are indestructible. Now, I just put a caveat on that, is that they're indestructible, but you can keep them hidden. And that's the point. You don't want to keep them hidden. You want to bring them out. You're going to have so much happiness just simply doing it for yourself. but you're going to find that that happiness and that energy and that life and that belief in yourself, and then what you do, whatever it is that you do, is going to permeate into other people's lives. It's going to trickle. It's going to be felt. It's going to rub off. It's going to have all these effects. So you won't be able to keep it from other people. You won't be able to keep it to yourself. And that enriches your life as well. So that's the tip. You are unique. You have specific gifts. Oh, I'm supposed to tie it to creativity, to Creative Heartbeats Club. Sometimes I forget. The principles are so great. So with Creative Heartbeats Club, I hope you're going to be able to find some unique things about you. I think we're going to try some different, I know we're going to try some different things. I have some things lined out that will help you explore and try things. So I think you're going to be able to find some unique things about you, some combinations that you like, some things that really tickle you when you try them and you go, oh, this is fun. I like this. I'm going to try this again. And that Creative Heartbeats, once we get past the initial course, because this is the beta group. So the beta group is going to do the initial course, and then we're going to move into the monthly prompts. And the monthly prompts are such that you don't have to do every single prompt. And if you miss a prompt, you're like out of the boat and you don't know what to do and you can't catch up. The prompts are kind of standalone prompts. There might be a couple that are together, but most of them are going to be kind of standalone, so you can pick and choose. And I have them categorized into 4 categories, so that if you want to just do sketchbook things, then just do the sketchbook things. If you want to just play with ideas, just do the ideas. If you want to just be inspired, be inspired. If you want to just do where you bring out and do the celebrating part and the home and that kind of thing, just do that part. If you want to do them all, do them all. So I've tried to tailor it so that it's very condensed, and you can pick and choose what you want to do, that it's not just you have to do everything after the initial course. In the initial course, you have to do everything. Well, you don't have to, but you're going to want to. It's the core. It's the core skills. And so there's a core skills, and then we go on to being more unique, where you'll start to find this uniqueness and some specific things. So, like I said, I'm excited about it, and I'm working on it, and everything that can go wrong in my process of working on it is going wrong. I cannot even tell you, but you know, luckily I've learned over the years that you just keep putting the foot in front of you, you know, you just keep doing it. And, oh, I'm looking at my notes. I put in my notes today, we did the bike ride I told you. Well, you know, I said, he said, start chasing the things you want to do. Well, it's like today, you know, the bike ride, usually I'm the one who leads home. We actually picked up Alan on the way home, and on his bike. He's on his bike, I'm on my bike. Usually I lead, but today he led. And you know, when they say start chasing, there's a little bit of rigor in that, because as I'm the one behind today, I am the one chasing him, and he's setting the pace. And it's interesting. I had to work a little bit today. You know, if I could even keep with him in sight, then that's good. He's the man on the bike. He totally got it down. And as I'm chasing, you know, as that thought chasing, it's not always an easy pursuit. You have to, I was huffing and puffing a little bit. It was got a little sweaty there. So it's not always going to be an easy road, but it's a doable road. I did stay within sight of him the whole time. So that was the last thing on my notes. So remember, you have a creative heartbeat. Listen for it, and I will be back tomorrow and for the next 10 days. Bye.